build my shelter. So I chopped down lots of trees. And then I started to bang them into the ground on my plateau. So it went on for several days, cutting down the trees, dragging them to the plateau, and banging them into the ground. To make it stronger, I lashed the posts together with rope, and I sharpened the tops to give extra safety and security. Finally, it was finished. I had built myself a stockade. I had to climb up a rope ladder to get inside. To make sure nothing came up after me, I pulled it up once I got to the top. And from inside the stockade, I could keep a good lookout over the beach and the open sea beyond it. My next job was to build a signaling bonfire. Griff helped me to carry the wood, and we built it near the sea. I would light it only if a ship came by. Then they might see it and come and rescue me. Next, I set up a post to mark the spot where I had come ashore.
I came on shore here, September 30th, 1659.
I also decided to use my post as a calendar. I had spent many days on building the stockade and the bonfire, and as I had no ordinary calendar on the island, I would soon forget how long I had been there. So I marked the post with one notch for every day I had spent on the island.
I'm going to make a calendar post for our island, and I'm going to use a lolly stick. A calendar helps you to count the days, and to make this one work, you must mark it every day.
You can make it just like my calendar post on the island. Put a long mark on for the first day.
That was when the story started last week.
But since then, Louise, there have been 6 other days.
Yes.
6 short marks.
3, 4, 5, 6. And then another long one, because today is the day of the program. There, that's brought us up to date.
Why don't you make a calendar post of your own? But remember, you must mark it every day.
And whenever there's a long mark, you'll know that it's time for more adventures from Robinson.
And now I suppose you're ready to hear some more of my story, eh?
We certainly are. We want to know about the goats and the parrot.
All in good time. The next thing I had to do was to explore my island, to find out what mysteries lay inland. First of all, I climbed to the highest point on the island. I called it Lookout Hill, and from there I could see the horizon all around. Then, having decided where to explore first, Griff and I set out. We saw many strange animals and plants, and beautiful colored birds that lived in the dense jungle. Down by the river, giant plants were growing. They were so huge that when I stood next to them, I looked as small as a dwarf. What a beautiful island. And I was the only man there. I could claim it as my kingdom.
Whoa,
Wonderful!
Wonderful! Wonderful!
Did you say that? I've been looking for someone to talk to. Wonderful!
Wonderful!
Here, catch! Where have you got to? Ah. Now I've got you. Get down, Riff. Go on. And so I had another friend, Polly, to take home with me to the stockade. I gave her plenty of food for the journey. I couldn't have her going hungry. By evening, I had travelled the length of the island. And down on the beach, what were they? Goats! There were goats on my island. Well, that set me thinking. If I could catch some goats and keep them, why, I wouldn't have to go off every day hunting for food. I would have fresh meat and milk every day. So, the only problem was, how do you catch a goat?
Yes, how do you?
Well, I racked my brains for a clever idea, but I couldn't come up with anything. So, in the end, I just set off after them on my own two legs. And I tell you, they gave me a right good run for my money. So I found a goat on her own and crept slowly up on her. Very, very slowly, so as not to frighten her and make her run away. Come on, that's it. Come on. Well, I wasn't going to give up now. Come on, that's it. Come on, there's a good girl. There we are. Come. No, don't. Come back. Come back. Don't run away. Come back. Come here. Come. That's it. Now stay there. That's it. That's it. You're all right. There's a good girl. There we are. There we are. There we are, little one. I'm not going to hurt you. No, I'm not going to hurt you. There we are. There we are. That's it. That's it. Come on, then. Come on. Oh, you're a big girl. Here we are. Come on. Well, I finally caught her at last. And there she is. I call her Snowdrop. And these are her two baby goats. Or rather, kids. That's the proper name for them.
They're lovely, aren't they? Let's have a closer look. Can you see underneath her chin here? She has a beard, hasn't she? And can you have a look at her hoofs? They're not like a horse's hoof, are they? They've got a split in the middle. That sort of hoof is called a cloven hoof. And what about here? What's this on top of her head? They're horns, aren't they?
Now, Louise, have you ever milked a goat before?
No, I haven't.
I'll show you how. Come on, in you get.
Oh, righty-ho. Bucket.
There we are.
Right. She won't butt me, will she?
No. She's a good girl, aren't you, Snowdrop?
Right.
Now then, don't you be frightened or you'll frighten her.
Hold on. The kid's having a drink first.
Oh, well, that's it, you see. You can't argue with that. When they want their dinner, they've got to have their dinner.
It's having a jolly good drink.
Ah, yes. There'll be none left in a minute.
No, there won't.
Right.
All right.
Can Louise have some?
Can I have some now? Come round you come. Snowdrop. Round
Make
you
yourself comfortable.
come. Round you come. There we go.
Here we are.
It's all getting a bit crowded in here. No, it's my turn now.
Come on, kids, you've had enough.
That's it. Now, it goes under there, yes?
That's right.
And then,
Take hold of the udders.
oops. Come on, beautiful.
That's where the milk comes from, you see.
Right.
And squeeze nice and gently.
There we go.
That's it. Out it comes. You're getting quite a little milkmaid, aren't you?
Feels very funny. Snowdrop doesn't seem to mind.
Oh, no.
How did you look after your goats?
Oh, it was easy. I mean, there was so much on the island for them to eat. You see, goats will eat anything.
Anything? Oh, I hope she doesn't eat our model island. There. Thank you, Snowdrop. Is that enough?
Oh, I should think so. Oh, my, you've done very well, haven't you? Marvellous. Right, Louise. You have a little taste.
But it's still warm.
Well, of course it is. It's nice and fresh.
Oh, all right. Well, it's different from cow's milk. It's very nice.
Goat's milk gives me so much else besides. What else do you have from milk? You'll be thinking about it after the programme.
So, now you had fresh milk and somewhere safe to spend the night, the stockade. I must write it all down in the book. Oh, my goodness, Snowdrop. She's eaten my book.
I told you, goats will eat anything. Never mind, Louise. I've an idea. Have you got any scissors?
Well, yes, but why? What are you going to do?
Well, don't you worry. I'm not going to harm Snowdrop. Right. Give me the cover of your book. Now, if you do this... See? You can make the cover of your book to look like my stockade that I had on my island. Get the idea?
Yes.
Right. You carry on and finish it.
Well, it's a very good idea. Well done, Snowdrop. Why don't you do this with your books? Then, when it's all cut out, you could stand it up in the classroom and it'll look like a stockade.
Well, Louise, time for me to be getting back. I'll see you next week.
Goodbye, Robinson. Goodbye.
I picked up my axe and I sharpened my blade and chopped down trees in the forest glade. I couldn't be certain what beasts might roam, and I needed a shelter, I needed a home. Robinson, Robinson, Robinson Crusoe, all alone and all on his own. Robinson, Robinson, Robinson Crusoe, far away on an island. Robinson, Robinson, Robinson Crusoe, all alone and all on his own. Robinson, Robinson, Robinson Crusoe, far away on an island. Far away on an island.
For centuries, farmers have struggled to draw as much food as possible from the land. In arid regions of the world, the lack of water, more than any other factor, has limited the expansion of agriculture. But growing demands on the world's food supply have made it necessary to farm areas which, until now, have been uncultivated. A full third of the Earth's land is dry and arid, yet more than 650 million people live in these regions. To increase the supply of water in desert lands, to make the desert bloom, simple, inexpensive techniques are being developed through the science called water harvesting. The global problems of spreading desert lands are clearly evident in the arid southwestern United States. Here, not long ago, large herds of cattle once grazed. As in many other places, there were too many animals for the land to support. The grasses gave out, leaving only mesquite bush, cactus, and sand. To stop new deserts from forming and to reclaim already arid land, Bob Dixon, a soil scientist with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, has invented a device that is showing promising results. Designed for use on barren, brush-covered terrain, the land imprinter is simple and effective. Onto a hollow steel drum, geometric shapes have been welded. Half of the drum imprints grooves into the soil, while the other half forms V-shaped pits. When filled with water, this land imprinter weighs almost 2 tons and easily crushes the brush into a mulch. With an attached planter, grass seed can be spread over the imprinted area. The grooves direct rainwater to deep pockets, which hold moisture and give the seed a chance to germinate. Just a year ago, only scrub brush and cactus grew here. Today, this well-established stand of grass is the result of one rolling with the land imprinter. No fertilizer or extra water was used. The land imprinter has applications in arid lands everywhere. Its construction is uncomplicated, inexpensive, and scaled-down models could be pulled behind oxen or mules. Soon, livestock will graze here again, but this time the herds must be kept small, or the land will quickly return to mesquite bush and sand. In the Sonora Desert of southern Arizona, the sparse and infrequent rainfall washes quickly over the crusted soil without benefit to the land. John Griggs and Dr. Gary Frazier, scientist with the Watershed Research Center, have for the past 15 years worked to find a practical and economic way to harvest rainwater for livestock use. While forage grasses are important, available drinking water is essential. In 1970, as one of their demonstration projects, 1,000 square meters of sloping desert ground were cleared of cactus and brush. A fiberglass matting was rolled directly onto the rough soil, then covered with asphalt and a protective aluminum paint. The fiberglass serves as a reinforcing fabric, and the asphalt provides waterproofing.
The base material is pretty good, but the protective coating isn't working very well. It looks like it needs a new one on it.
In the 10 years this catchment has been in place, very little maintenance has been necessary. Virtually all of the rain falling on this surface is harvested. From only 1 centimeter of rain, this catchment can produce over 8,000 liters of good drinking water. Many other surface materials for catchments are being evaluated. These long-term research studies measure the amount of runoff from various materials after each rainfall. The effects of wind, sunlight, and temperature are carefully observed. Among the surfaces being tried are metal foil, gravel over asphalt, concrete, artificial rubber, paraffin wax, and gravel-covered plastic. So far, no single ideal catchment surface for all conditions and locations has been found. Soils, climate, and costs are too varied. But research has proven that water harvesting works. Treating a surface to increase runoff from rainfall will provide water, often in large quantities, without requiring fuel or power. However, once water has been collected in ponds and reservoirs, another serious problem must be faced: evaporation. In arid countries, more water is lost through evaporation than is used productively. To stop the loss, hydrologists are testing various floating reservoir covers. Paraffin wax is inexpensive and forms a tight seal. Butyl rubber has proven effective, but is costly. Researchers have found that any materials which shield part of the exposed surface from the sun will help reduce the loss of stored water, even ping pong balls. Dr. Brent Clough of the University of Arizona has a simple concept to reduce evaporation.
This is a water harvesting system feeding water into a compartmented reservoir. The reservoir has been divided up into compartments in order to reduce evaporation.
Water is drawn first from the largest pond. As the level decreases, the remaining water is pumped into smaller compartments. The smaller surface areas reduce the evaporation loss. A low-cost, effective system for evaporation control.
At a very low cost.
Arid lands can be successfully farmed with an age-old technique known as runoff agriculture. By preparing part of the soil surface as a watershed, rain will run off onto the smaller cultivated area. 2 centimeters of rain could concentrate as much as 8 centimeters of water on the cropped area. Apricot, peach, and plum trees have flourished in the Arizona desert under this system of water harvesting and runoff agriculture. Archaeologists have discovered that these same techniques were used 4,000 years ago in the deserts of the Middle East. Here at the University of Arizona's experimental farm near Tucson, several varieties of grapes have been grown successfully for the past 10 years.